So here is one of those deck boxes that I got last fall at Home Depot, and I really like them. They're a narrow, I don't know, I don't even think they're 12 inches wide, but inside they're even narrower and tall. So they fit in spots that are kind of tight around my deck. Ignore the dirt all over the wall. That was from the heavy rains we got from Hurricane Hillary, and it just made a mess here. I had this sitting up here to see how it would look with the pink jasmine in this deck box, and it just splashed the dirt everywhere, the soil. So right now this is a pink jasmine I got. It's supposed to be hardy in my zone. I was setting it in here to see how it would work in this deck box here. And this, I got this trellis at Lowe's. I got it a few years back and I used it for something else. And now I thought this would be perfect. The longer stems pieces do fit in the box, and then these sit on the edge. I am going to probably put a block of wood behind it on the trim pieces so that it would hold it upright, because if it gets heavy with the jasmine or whatever, it could pull down, and I don't want it up against the wall also. That creates mildew and whatever. I want it away from the wall, and that way when we go to paint or what have you, it'll be easy just to disengage. Okay, so I started out, because I didn't have a lot of soil at the time, I started out filling it with garden debris, whatever you want. I was clipping things back, and then I put some compost that I had gotten bulk, and then now I would say it's halfway full, and the rain really compressed it down. So I'm going to put some more soil in it. I'm going to leave the trellis on here, but I have some more potting soil here. If I had more of my turkey compost, I would go ahead and make my DIY compost, which is basically, not my DIY potting soil, which is basically that compost. I sometimes use perlite, I use worm castings. I have been using rice hulls, right? That's Hulls, rice hulls, in there to keep it loose. Sometimes I add sand, sometimes green sand. Let's see if I can do this without dumping it everywhere. And I may have to do it a little bit at a time, but let's see. Okay, I think it's gonna go in there just fine. Okay, I will fill more in a little bit later. Let me get my gloves on. I want to keep my fingernails relatively clean right now because I have somewhere to go this evening and I don't want it to have to scrub them too much. Though I could wash my hair and it cleans them all out. So yeah, I'm probably about an inch or two from the top, which is fine. That's plenty of soil. And I'm just going to move soil aside to plant this. This is a pink jasmine. Let me see if I can read it. It says pink jasmine, evergreen vine, fast, strong climber to 20 feet. Early spring, pink buds open to fragrant white flowers. Zones 5 through 9. Hopefully that's not sunset zones. You never know. Sometimes there's sunset zones. Oh, now I'm getting a phone call. Wouldn't you know it? Probably. I was interrupted with a phone call. Sorry about that, but it was good news. They're going to fix my truck. I have a 2004 Suburban that the snowplow made a mess of with his blade last winter, and my insurance company is going to fix it, even though it's old and almost has 300,000 miles on it, which this was so shocking. Thought for sure they would total it, and everyone told me they would. But anyways, they're going to fix it, which is good, because I love my Suburban. I can haul so many plants in that. I'm trying to get this pink jasmine out of here without ripping the roots off. Maybe it's sticking to the side. I need to run something around it. I usually use my garden knife for this, but I don't know where it's at this moment, and I want to get this done. Done. Oh, come on. Okay. Now, this winter, since this obviously gets a ton of water pouring on it. I'm going to have to do something to shield it and or move this box during the winter months. So I could put it around the side where it's under the porch overhang, and that way it won't get drowned. Because if I left it here and that water just poured in, I didn't think it would hit here. But maybe it does. I'll have to see. I thought it was far enough under the eave that it would not do that. But from what I can see, splashing all the dirt out, it did. What, kitty? Do you want out? You just went in. So I'm just going to fill it up here with some soil. I didn't know about putting in some Coleus. What do you think? Do you think I should put the Coleus in here? Probably wouldn't hurt. But it needs to be planted in something. Move the soil out of the way so it can be down in there. There we go. This, of course, will not live through the winter. First frost, it'll be toast, but until then, it will look pretty. And this gets a little bit of sun for just a tiny bit of time. So we'll see how that all flies. Now, I had thought of putting a sweet potato vine in here to drape down. And I could put one in. I think I have an extra around here. Let me go look. This one is actually a petite one. It has petite leaves. So I think this would be a good spot. This one is called Heart Lime, Sidekick Heart Lime. So now I'll take cuttings of this when it comes time for it to cool down, and I will overwinter it and see about keeping it for next year too. So get it all in there. Okay. Good. Put that over there. Clean up my mess. And rinse everything down. So now I need to disengage it from this pole and weave it up onto my, oh, looks like that one bent over. Oh, no, I don't want to do it that way. Let's see how it's gotten all. Had it in a little pot over behind my chair too long. This is a project that needed doing long ago. So let's get it trained up here. Now this says it only blooms in the spring, but my friend who has one, hers is blooming again now after it bloomed in spring. So you never know what they will do. Thanks, supports. So there, now I'm going to rinse everything. I am going to rinse it this time and get it settled in. And I have this potato vine in here. It's a little grubby, but I got it mostly washed off. But in my Coleus video I had just a couple weeks ago, I showed you how I root them. And here's one that's well rooted. And I'm just going to put it down in there to let it keep growing on. Let's see if I can get it down in there deep enough. Perfect. Got it down to where the roots were. And now it can grow up and be beautiful. And I'm going to go find another one and put it right here. So it's going to be very colorful with Coleus starts. Let's see over here. I have just a green one. Oh, I have another one like that. That's another spotted one. I think will be pretty right here. See how that's rooted? And right there we go. And these were all from those ones I started from seed, a little cheap, inexpensive packet of seeds. So we'll let it fill in and see how that all does. Okay. So thank you for coming along while I planted up my deck box with my pink jasmine. Each morning with my coffee, I come out and check on it, and then I train the vines up and around this trellis. And the little cuttings of the Coleus that I planted in here are doing just fine. They haven't faded at all, though. But today it's going to be a bit hotter. Fortunately, it doesn't last very long on them, so they should be fine. But they do add a spark of color here, and the little sweet potato vine is just taking off. So all is good on my deck box planting on my deck.